Hello devs, welcome back to the channel OnlyCode, and this is the official video of announcing React series in our channel. So this will be the planning for my YT channel, that is YouTube channel. If you want, you can take screenshot for this, and yeah. So this will be the basic planning. Things will be in depth. So today's topic is React folder structure, how things render, and Tailwind support, of course, because Tailwind is necessary. What are Tailwinds? Tailwinds are basically CSS writing a different style. Means we basically write styles only, CSS styles, but in terms of class names. Okay, so what are class names and all? You will get to know, right? Okay, some of you must know Tailwind, but how to set up React with Tailwind and modern way of setting React, their folder structure, will get to know today. So let's start. And yeah, if whenever you want to know something about any tool, should refer its documentation, the basic document. So we need to set up React, of course, right? So we will get to know, we'll get directly to the documentation part. Okay, so this is the documentation, and we need installation, right? Install that, and here are different ways of installing React, right? So they are saying that install React with npm, okay? But I have one, and I will suggest to you all to download one, because one is way faster than npm, right? What is npm? Npm is basically a package management tool for Node.js, for JavaScript, right? Same thing can be done with one. One is fast JavaScript builder, you can say test runner, package management manager, and it works on lots of domains. So you can see different features that come with one, and it is quite fast. So use this. I have already installed, so I will use that. Okay. Now, basically, what I want is I want React setup, right, plus Tailwind support on that. So I will get to know. I will get with Tailwind website too. Okay. So Tailwind, let's see. Tell. I will write here Tailwind React or Bit. In case you don't know what is Bit, Bit is a bundle. So nowadays we set up React application using Bit. Okay. So let's get to that. See, here it is saying npm create Bit at the rate latest and my project. This my project is basically your project name. Npm create Bit at the list at the rate latest. Okay. So we will run this command. Okay, let me open my VS Code, and here I will create a directory dir, that is main directory, and we will write react setup. Okay, so our directory has been made, you can see here. Then change the directory react setup. Okay, here terminal. Now I will use one instead of npm. Okay, npm one create the at the rate latest, and then our project. So project name is basically react setup. So setup, okay, for now. And let's see, it is resolving, asking some of the questions. So it will be react setup. For now, let's skip JavaScript plus swc, but in the later videos we will go with TypeScript or this way. Okay, because TypeScript is way better than JavaScript. So yeah, now they are saying that follow this command. So cd setup one install, and by doing one install, what we will get is we will install all the packages written in package.json. Okay, so this is package.json, where we have dependencies, react and react dom. Then again we have dev dependencies, slint, bit.js, and lots of things. So it will download all those things. Okay, all those dev dependencies and dependencies. So let it be downloaded, and till then what we are going to do is we will check the folder structure of React, how things are working. Okay. Okay. So let's get to here about Vite. Say Vite config.js. This will be the basic configuration of Vite. Okay. Cool. Then package.json, as I have said, this will be the configuration file of your repo. Repo means repository. Repository means the in the folder where you contain your project itself. So that's a repo. Okay. So this is your repo. This the setup itself is your repo, and inside that we have a package.json that will say most of the things uh, about your project, how things are working. Okay, so as you know, we have a scripts are basically the commands we can run in terminal and use in our project. Okay, simple. Then we have dependencies on which your project is dependent. We are using React and React DOM for our project. Okay, you know that this is a React setup. Yeah. Then dev dependencies, the dependencies we need to develop our project. We need React Beat because it makes things quite easy. We need types of React DOM and types of React. What is types? Basically TypeScript support. Okay, nothing else. Then we have slint. Slint is basically when you write code, it will check if your code is right or wrong. Is there any problem? Is there any issues? Right. So these are the things will be done with slint. Then we have something called git ignore, dot git ignore actually. This dot git ignore is very much necessary for your project. Why? Because see, whenever you work in a repo, you always initialize Git and GitHub for your project, right? Because you want to track your project progress, you want to collab with different developers. So you need Git and GitHub. Now you have something called .env, which consists of all the secret files. And again, you have node modules that will contain all the dependencies of your project. These things you never want to push in the server itself, in the GitHub itself. This will be done with the commands of package.json, okay, of package.json or the server you will deploy. Then only you will get those things. Where to write the command like npm install or bun install that will install all your node modules. What are node modules? These are basically the dependencies required to run your project. Okay, that's it. So you don't want to push this node modules. Dist is basically the folder which you will deploy after building your project. So this project itself will not be deployed anytime in this server. This project will be built in the static files, okay, of JavaScript, HTML and CSS. Then only those static files will be ultimately get deployed in the server. So these are not the files which will directly be deployed in the server, right? Then you have something called .env. Here it is written. No, here it is not written, but it should be. So we will write .env. This file consists of all the secret API, what to say, API secret keys, API keys to access your backend, to access your DB. So this is quite necessary. This is quite means secretive, and you don't want to push it into the GitHub. So using .git ignore, whichever file or folder you will write and give star into that, those will be not uh, traced by Git you have initialized. Okay, cool. Then again, I have said why we use slint, so I am not going to go in details with this. I have said what are node modules. What are public? Publicly is basically where you keep SVG or .png, means the photos or videos, right? And icons also. Well, you have one more folder to keep icons, that is assets inside SRC. Okay, but we will get to that later on. Let's close public. Now let's come into the index.html. What is index.html? So this is the basic file. This index.html is the basic file where you set up your project from start. Okay, so if you have ever read HTML, you know that this is boilerplate code. Okay, full boilerplate code. And here we have injected a script. That script is basically main.jsx. Inside src folder we have something called main.jsx, and we have injected it in the index.html. So index.html will be your initial file, and inside that you will inject a script that would contain your React codes. Simple. Again, we have here public weed.svg, which has been brought here. Okay, for the, so this will be basically, I guess it will be for icon. Okay, I have forgotten what's actual name of these things, but this will be used for this icon, the tab name and the icon. So it will be used for that. Okay, whenever you will import some icon with link tag and give it relation icon, then it will be used as that icon. Okay, Again, you know, meta, viewport and all, I will not go into the details. This is basic common things for the width and height of screen sizes and all. What is title? Title is basically this title written here. So if we will launch right now this this project, then it will show beat plus react. So let's launch it, okay, because ultimately we have done the installed the packages. So let's launch it first. Run dev. Okay, so it is running, and we will see the website. As I just said, that http localhost 5173 code is been running our website. So let's go there. So yeah, see, we have bit plus react title, the icon, and the project itself. We have a counter here. We will get to that how it is coming. Don't worry. Icon, let's remove this. I think this thing is not been written as here. Okay, yeah, this is the way to write comments in HTML. I have forgotten that. Yeah, okay. So this is the HTML file that will inject your React codes. But where is the React code? The React codes are written inside the src. Okay, as inside that src you will get something called main.jsx, and we have main.jsx right here. What this main.jsx do is, this will import a strict mode. I will tell this in later videos. This will import a create root from React DOM client. This will import an app and index.css. Okay, let's get to these things one by one. About strict mode, I will tell that later on. This strict mode allows things to react to re-render or to render the UI twice, so that nothing will be left at the development phase. Okay, so this is the strict mode, but I will maybe in later videos I will tell you this thing in more detail, in more depth. Okay, okay. So what is create root? See, create root from React DOM client is been imported. Okay, this structure here, it is accepting uh, a function. Okay, maybe a callback function. What it is saying, document dot get elements by id, means this is a javascript DOM query. Okay, this is JavaScript DOM query. Get element by id root, and inside, and with that render this thing. Okay, it's simple, right? uh, what it is saying, that document dot get element by id take root, and with that render this. Okay, so if you will get to create root, you will see that there is a container and options. Okay, and inside that container we have some type scripts. So I don't know whether I should go in details or not, but yeah, let's go there. Here it is saying give me element, document fragments, documents, etc. Okay, and again let's go to the, so if you will, go with react options, you will get to see an identifier prefix and uncaught error. I'll leave this thing, these are quite cryptic. For now we don't need that. Okay, see, as it is saying strict mode, and then only render your app. So let's get to the app itself. In app we have a component. So basically this is a function written here, but actually we call it as a component. Okay, it's a React component. We have a component where they have used a state as a count, so that they can keep trace of counting in a state in the UI, and they have returned a document itself. Okay, and then export default app. That's it. They are exporting the component itself. So div, and after div, lots of course. What is index app.css? This will be basically the css that has been used inside the app.jsx. Okay, we have imported that also. What is index.css, which is imported in main.jsx? So index.css is basically the root css. Okay, the root css used there. But for now, what we are going to do is, we don't need any of these. Okay, rather removing it, what I can do is, let's comment down app index.css and get to the app.js. Okay, again I will remove app.css, and inside this app let's remove this. Yeah, now we will write the function, the component itself. Okay, export default Okay. Okay, let's remove these two. Simply return here. Now returning comes with two things. You can either write h1 and return hello world. Okay, with this you will get a hello world. The app itself is not returning. Let's see what's the issue. Yeah, it is returning. Okay, so we have to refresh it. We should not have to refresh it. Why we will refresh it? We are using wheat. It should refresh itself. Okay, now as I have said that we have Tailwind support. So class, no, we don't have Tailwind support. We have to give that. So after creating the project, run this thing. Okay, let's close our server and run that command. One install Tailwind CSS at the Tailwind CSS slash. Yeah. So this will give the Tailwind support. We have to change something. It is saying that use configure the Vite plugin, import Tailwind CSS from Tailwind CSS Vite. Okay, so yeah, the package is been installed. So in the Vite config.ts we have js import this thing, and then in the plugin part give support of Tailwind CSS. Okay, that's it. Then what you have to do is anything else you have to do. Okay, link ref styles.css. Let me check once again. Import tailwind.css, that imports, add an import to your css file that imports tailwind CSS. Okay, okay, so what we can do is the app.css, we can import tailwind.css, and then we will use this link hr here styles.css in our index.html. Okay, yeah, and this will be app.css. Yeah, cool. Now let's see, we have, and we have to import app.css. Let's remove all other styles. Okay, cool. So for now we have as per my thinking we have Tailwind support. Okay, let's see if it is. In React we have something called class name, as which is exactly like classes in HTML CSS vanilla. What is vanilla? When you write with basics, but now you are using React, you are writing JSX files. So instead of classes you will write class name. Okay, and now let's give the style. For now I want it font bold. Okay, and text amber 400. So let's see if it is running or not. See, it is working. Okay, so Tailwind support has been given and it is working fine. I have given here just h1 after a return. Okay, but this will not be applicable for all the things for every time. We have to actually open parenthesis and then use a fragment. So this is a React fragment. Okay, why we use this? Because JSX never allows you, so JSX will not allow you to return two nodes. Suppose this is one node h1, okay, and another node div again. So if you will remove this h1, you will see that we have written two divs at the parent level, right? So this will not be allowed from the JSX itself. So what you can do is you can remove this div. Okay, and if you want more divs and more things inside this component, you can just make another nodes like div here, then div here. So this will be the basic format of your component. This is a basic JSX component. Okay, in React. But what I want is I don't need unnecessary nodes of div, because that will make the DOM structure ultimately complex. So what I will do is I will use React fragment. These are the React fragments. This is the React fragment.
One more way of writing React fragment is just import it as React fragment, and you can use this. Okay, if I will remove this part, just go with fragment, and yeah. So what is the difference between this fragment and that fragment? Nothing. Here just you can give a key, something called key, and at that fragment both are same, but here you can give key and there you can't give key. Let's give for now match.random. Okay, use h1 tag right here, hello world. Okay, and let's give it some style, as this is your our first code. So font will be bold, text will be red, and it will be large. So text cell. Okay, let's, yeah. So this is our first project, and we got to know how to set up a React project, how things work. Stay tuned with the channel, and we will get more and more deep. Okay, bye.